What is good, everyone? Welcome to the channel. My name is Paul and I do videos about life in Japan from the viewpoint of a long-term foreign resident. I've been here about 18 years now. Last week I took you on a trip to Tokyo where we went to probably the most famously cursed spot in all of Japan in honor of October, spooky month, and Halloween coming up. Well, this week, because this week is Halloween weekend, I'm doing the same thing. Instead, we are in Kamakura this week, which is the old capital of Japan. If you're not familiar with it, it was a capital long, long ago. And while Kyoto is more famous than Kamakura, Kamakura is often called the Kyoto of the East. Definitely a nice place to come and visit. It is a nice day trip out of Tokyo, for example. And today, we're actually going to a spot where over 800 people committed suicide. Suicide by Hara-Kiri, or being cut at the belly in traditional fashion. Supposedly a very haunted spot, and we're going to go check it out. While we walk to the site, though, I will give you the history and the backstory. So, in the years 1200 to 1300, the Kamakura shogunate was in power in Japan. Now, politics in Japan in those days is really complicated to get into, so I'm not going to go too deep into that. But basically, the shogun held the real power, and the emperor was who they swore fealty to. The samurai clan that ruled the Kamakura shogunate was the Hojo clan, and in the 1320s, the last regent who had any power, Hojo Takatoki, ordered the then emperor Go-Daigo to abdicate the throne in favor of the new emperor stepping up from a different branch of the imperial line. Now, this is not an outrageous request at this time. This had been done before, and so it wasn't something that was really odd for the shogunate to require, but Go-Daigo said, no, I'm not giving up being emperor. He refused to abdicate and basically went into rebellion. So, the Hojo gathered their forces and they appointed Ashikaga Takauji to be their general to go against the supporters of Go-Daigo. And that turned out to be a big mistake because Ashikaga Takauji would later switch sides against the Hojo. It all came to a head in 1333 when the forces of Nita Yoshisada besieged the city of Kamakura, encircling it. Now, if you've never been to Kamakura before or you don't know the geography, it's essentially surrounded on three sides, east, north, and west, by hills with only a few passes through. And then to the south, there's Sagami Bay. So the Hojo forces manned the passes, and their ships were in the bay to keep anyone from trying to approach via the shore route. Now, the story goes that Nita, he sacrificed his sword to the waves of the bay in a gift to, or an offering to the sun goddess. And what happened next was an unusually low tide that allowed the forces to come by the shore route because the Hojo ships could no longer come close enough to defend the route. So the forces of Nita set fire to the city of Kamakura, and Hojo Takatoki, with his family and retainers, had retreated to Toshoji Temple. At that point, they themselves set fire to the temple and committed ritual suicide by slitting of the belly. So, over 800 Hojo family members and retainers lost their lives at Toshoji Temple in that ritual suicide. The place itself is known as Hara-Kiri Yagura, which basically translates to stomach-slitting tombs. And even though Hojo Takatoki's grave was later moved to a different temple, the remains of the retainers and family are all still in those tombs, and it is said after dark that the spirits of those who died there can still be heard. Therefore, it's quite a frightening place to be after dark. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if I'd be brave enough to go and check it out. Okay, we're almost there. I'm going to start filming and flip this camera around, and let's go see what there is to see at the tombs. Yeah. So let's go check out the site. We have actually reached the turnoff. They provided a sign here for us. And as you saw, the sign claims that it's off limits to tourists because of falling rocks. I hope we get some kind of glimpse or view of the place. I'd be very disappointed I'll be a bit disappointed if I'm unable to see anything there. As you can see, it is totally fenced off behind me, although by the looks of that rock face over there, I don't think falling rocks is really the reason why it's closed. I don't know, maybe improper behavior by visitors, I'm not sure. But it's definitely not accessible unless you want to jump the fence, and I'm not going to do that. It was nice of the city of Kamakura to put that sign up, which is in Chinese, Korean, English, and Japanese, so that was nice of them to put it in several languages. I'm the only person here, though, so I'm not sure how many people actually come up here to this site to check it out. I'm also kind of impressed that there's houses this close. Like this house that's here. Can you imagine living next to the spot of a mass suicide? I don't know if I could do that. Even if it was going on 1,000 years ago. So, a little disappointed that I wasn't able to actually go up close and inspect them, but I don't know. At historic places like this, I tend to feel a little more sad or melancholy than spooked or scared, so just kind of the weight of human history and human cruelty and the things that we do to each other and put upon each other in the name of fealty and power and loyalty and all those human emotions that can lead to destruction. So the Kamakura shogunate ended with the Hojo clan in 1333. The Ashikaga shogunate would begin after that, and history marched on. But this site is still here. It's still visible. You can go check it out, and you'll be probably all alone like I was. And this is a lovely city overall. I've spent a lot of time stomping around this city, seeing all the different sites, and there's plenty of them. Probably most famously the great Buddha statue that sits out. It's not in a temple hall, it sits outside. Many reasons to come to Kamakura. This might not be one of the major draws, but if you're interested in spooky or haunted or really kind of deeply heavy historical spots, I'd give it a try. It's not that very far from the station. It didn't take me any more than 7-8 minutes to get here. So thank you very much for coming along with me, and if you like this content, please remember to hit like and subscribe. If you've gotten this far in the video and you haven't done that, I think it's time. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will catch you next week. Peace.